Good morning, YouTubers. T Square with T Square Talks. Hope everybody's having a great week. It is Thursday morning for you guys watching this video. I got an awesome video for you. It's wants to be a little bit long, the video, but I want to try to consolidate it and keep it kind of shorter. So I'm going to have to kind of cut to the chase tonight, a little less chit chat and a lot more meat and potatoes, only because there is a lot of ground, because it is frustrating out there, especially today, because everybody's talking politics. Now, I don't like getting too much into politics with people because up until recently, I could defend my candidate, and I knew all of his pros, I knew all of his cons, and I knew his rivals' pros and cons. And yeah, I don't believe anybody walks on water. So essentially, if someone asked me to name a couple of good things about Biden, I could do that. If someone said name some bad things about Biden, I could do that. If someone said name some good things or some bad things about Trump, I could do that. And that's what I believe people need to really think about, because no matter how much you dislike a guy, if you have absolutely nothing, not one good thing to say about somebody, then you're a little biased. You're not even a little, you're 100% biased. If you think somebody, one of your candidates, walks on water, can't do anything wrong, it's a scary world, in my opinion, when you think that, because I think you're not really open to what's going on, and I believe that people have to be open. And right now, I think there's a lot going on, and I think that even my candidate, who is the incoming, soon-to-be president of the United States, is a little nervous. We're going to talk about some of the stuff that he is talking about today, and we're going to talk about how that affects gold, how that affects silver, how that affects the US dollar. I've got a lot of windows opened up, a lot of stuff we're going to talk about, so I'm going to kind of cut to the chase. If you enjoy the video, please take a quick minute, hit that thumbs up. It's going to be really educational if you haven't been following what's going on, because I've been paying close attention to this, and some of the stuff going on is pretty crazy. So if you enjoyed the video, hit that thumbs up button for me. If you're not subscribed to the channel, take a quick minute, hit that subscribe button. If you want to leave a short comment, it really helps out the channel, and I love to hear y'all's opinions. I would highly recommend from here until through February that you put at least a little comment up. If you put comments on the videos, even if they're short, thumbs up, good morning, whatever, you're probably going to get a heart next to your name, and you will find out why that's going to be important come around February 23rd, because I am working on a big project for February 23rd that's going to benefit members, subscribers, and even people that have hearts next to their name. That basically means you comment on a lot of videos, so you have plenty of time to get one. I mean, you have over a month and a half. So and it's basically, some of you already have seen them on your comments, and some of you don't know about them. You just got to look around at the comments and you'll see either they have a star, a heart, or a YouTube symbol, or all three. So with that being said, let's jump in, because there's a lot to talk about. Right off the bat, I wanted to check a quick moment on what is the price of silver right now. If I'm on a live stream, if I'm on a stream like this, where I'm doing the video like this, I like to check it real quick. We're seeing some good volatility right now. I find that kind of interesting. However, we are sitting right this minute at $30.12. When I take a look at the futures market, we're still looking at $30.70, which means the contracts are actually selling more than what the spot price is right now. So that's a good thing. But I want to move right in and talk about Trump. What is going on with Trump? So recently, Trump had made some claims, and we're going to say what these claims are. I guess I'll knock them out all right off the bat. We're going to talk a little bit about what this means. So Trump had mentioned that, hey, we want Canada, which is kind of interesting. Yeah, Canada's a great country. They are our neighbor. We also want Greenland. We also want the Panama Canal. And I guess we want to rename the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. Now, those are the four big ones. However, the Gulf of Mexico and the Gulf of America, I think there's even a strategic reason for that. I think little by little, we are trying to lay claim to as much as we can, because we know what is coming. There is, I believe, some turmoil coming, and we are getting in front of it. A lot of people know now the dollar's in trouble. And if you don't know, the dollar is essentially America's Achilles heel. I mean, you're not going to probably beat us militarily, even though some people would say that the U.S. has gotten weaker over the years. And I'm not going to say they haven't, but I'm also going to say it takes a lot of work to move enough troops across the ocean to kind of conquer America. I mean, let's be honest. Ain't nobody got to come over here and conquer us. However, they don't have to conquer us. The dollar is our Achilles heel. And we've talked about this here on the channel a lot because it is our weakness. But the questions that's coming up is, well, why are we seeing all this drama right now? What is going on with it? So right off the bat, I have to talk first about Greenland because I think that was the most interesting one. Greenland, a lot of people don't know much about Greenland. Greenland is a place that's basically, it's a territory of Denmark. And essentially, I'm wondering if, because the U.S., Trump said even that we are willing to use military force if need be. It's a matter of national security. Well, if you go by it's a matter of national security, what is it that makes it a national security? So first of all, I'm going to talk about the oil that's there. It's estimated 31.4 billion barrels of oil. Now, for those of you guys that don't know what that translates to, let's clear this calculator out just for a quick minute, and we'll just type in 31.4 billion. Actually, I shouldn't put the point in there. My bad. Let me do this differently. 31,400,000. That's 31.4 million. We want billion. So $31.4 billion. We're going to multiply the price of oil right now times $75 a barrel, and that's a big number. You're talking $2.3 trillion. I mean, when you think of that, million, billion, trillion, 2.3 trillion. It's a lot of money right there. We want those resources. Why? We need something to prop up the dollar. We have been spending money like crazy. What does Denmark have? Denmark has roughly 60,000 people there. It wouldn't be hard for us to take it by force, but I think the U.S. is actually going to try to make a deal where they try to buy it or make it into a territory. With that few amount of people, it would be easy to work a deal, I think, and take it. Now, some people are like, well, it's not just money, is it? And right off the bat, in order to show you a good map, I'm more of a fan of a flat earth map. Now, some of you know what a flat earth map is, some of you don't, but I like flat earth maps because it kind of makes it a little easier to really see. I mean, when I show you like a standard map like this one, you can't really see what's going on with Russia and the United States. All you see is this long, unless you have a globe or you have a flat earth map, then you start really seeing what's going on. So I'm going to click on this picture right here because I like this one for this. Now, I don't think there's any way to open it up. Nope, there's not. No way to get that bigger. Okay. I want you to look at where Greenland is. Right here. So Greenland, it's up there. It's basically equal to Canada. It's a little more north of Canada, but you can kind of see there's a lot of oil there. We've already talked about that, but also there's a lot of areas that would give us a defense between Russia, which is here, and the U.S., which is here. Now think about that. If Russia was ever to shoot a missile here at the United States, you could take it out from either Greenland, coming this way, or intercept anywhere in here, or you could take it out from Alaska anywhere this way. So it kind of gives us coverage. Some people think, if they shot a missile, a lot of people want to look at a map like this, and they're like, oh no, we'd have plenty of time because look, it's gonna come all this way till it gets over here. No, it's not. It's actually gonna come right over, and the distance is not really what people think it is. I mean, when you looked at the other one, it's real easy to spot how close it is when you're looking at it on a map like this. So that's the first thing that we're going to talk about. So it has money because of the oil, but it also has the defense capability. And that's why I think we will probably end up at some point wanting it, trying to get it, and they'll use it now. Do I think they'll go after it with military? I don't know, really. But it definitely, there's other factors here that a lot of people aren't seeing. And I'm going to close this up at the very end of the video with the one common denominator that really puts all these little comments in place. So we've talked about the military defense. We've talked about the money that's there. But now let's take a look at Canada. So Canada, which is right here, the pink, you can see the U.S. here. You can see Canada. It gives definitely a good barrier, again, to protect the U.S. as the missile would come across and get us. But on top of that, Canada has a lot of natural resources. They have a lot of oil. In fact, originally Canada was going to send pipelines down to Texas, and then they decided instead they would just send them to the East Coast, the West Coast, and then from the West Coast they could ship it off to China. And now they get a lot of our oil. China uses a lot of oil. Oil, having the ability to have oil, really gives you the might. He who controls the oil, I know some people used to say, he who controls the gold makes the rules. He who controls the oil controls the military of the world. And so I think the oil is going to become a key player in the future. A lot of people think, oh no, solar, it's going to be solar, it's going to be solar. Here's the thing. I don't know how many of you guys have watched the new TV, or I don't know if it's considered a TV series. I call it a TV series on Paramount. It's called Landman. I love the show, first of all. Green energy is not really feasible like they tell us. And I know a lot of people hate to say that. We spend a lot to get it. A lot of oil gets used in order to make the concrete, to deliver the concrete, to make the metal, to make the blades, to truck the blades, to put the thing together. A lot of energy is consumed, and the question comes up, will that windmill ever even pay itself off? I mean, in my opinion, no. Especially if you watch the show, you will get a good education that wind may not be the future like people think. Oil is already here. Even if we go electric, the grids are not strong enough to even do anything that could push enough electricity into the big cities and stuff. So it's not really sustainable, in my opinion. Oil is going to be the future. And we're going to have to find ways. I say oil. There's going to be other things. Obviously, you need a good diversity, nuclear, coal, that type of stuff. But we're just getting into the importance of oil real quick. The next thing we talked about, Canada. Canada also has a lot of oil, a lot of natural resources. It's our neighbor. It's definitely a strategic point. If anybody wanted to ever stage something and they got Canada in on it, that would definitely be a key position when you think about it. Now, let's talk a little bit, though, about the Panama Canal, because a lot of people don't know much about the Panama Canal, and it was mentioned. So for those of you that don't know, what is the Panama Canal? Oh, and real quick, I got to say, this is up for an opinion. If Canada doesn't want to join the United States, you know, some people will say that, oh, they can't buy Canada, there's nothing they can do. I have a belief, my honest opinion, that the royal family controls Canada. If Canada says we make a deal with Canada, with the royal family or Britain, then I'm pretty convinced that something could happen. And there's a lot of greedy people out there. And I think it would cost us a lot of money to buy Greenland, to buy Canada, to maybe buy the Panama Canal. But at the end of the day, I think Trump knows how much money we print doesn't matter. The dollar is going away. And we're going to get into that in just a couple minutes. I'm trying to keep this video at 20 minutes, so I don't want to ramble on too much. But if the royal family decides that, yeah, Canada can join the United States, then I'm convinced it would happen. Because when I read a lot of different stuff, yes, Canada are their own sovereign people, but the royal family kind of has a little bit of a say-so over what happens. And so I think we could see something happen in that area, especially if the royal family and, you know, Great Britain was well taken care of in the process. The Panama Canal. The Panama Canal, in my opinion, is definitely probably the most feasible one. A lot of people may or may not know this. We built the Panama Canal. We built it, and afterwards, we ended up giving it to Panama in 1999. But overall, it is a huge way to move stuff from the East Coast to the West Coast. I've actually gone through the Panama Canal on a ship when I was military. The military ships go through here. The military ships pay a lot of money to come through here, to go from one side to the other, but it also brings a lot of money into Panama. Now, there's a lot of tankers, a lot of ships. It doesn't matter what is being transported. It is the most common way for a lot of ships to make it from one coast to the other coast. Do they pay money? Yeah, they pay money. And who gets that money? Panama gets that money. However, if the U.S. took control of it, one, it would allow us to move our troops, ships, all that through there. However, I'm convinced that it would be possibly a little hard to defend, maybe, but who knows? That's an opinion. Because it wouldn't take much for a ship to come through here and all of a sudden sink right there, and then all of a sudden it blocks up the Panama Canal, and then you have to go all the way around in order to do it. We've seen that happen in, I can't remember the name of the canal, off the coast of Egypt. If it was what can someone, I can't even think of the name of it, but we had the Greenland, I think it was the Greenland ship, or Green something, that sunk, and it blocked the canal up for like a week and a half, and it really hurt shipping. It slowed everything down. There again, a lot of money comes through here. It is a strategic point. Where does all this tie up, though? That's the big factor as we're narrowing down to the end of the video. So I think a lot of this, and I forgot to mention the Gulf of Mexico, renaming the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, which sounds pointless, but I think, again, that is us laying claim to the Gulf of Mexico to become ours as well. Now, a lot of these are bold statements. These are very strategic. It's almost like we are putting together everything for a huge, I don't want to say a war, but essentially, yeah. I mean, we're getting ready for what's coming. The war, I believe, has already started. It's a financial war. The dollar is being challenged. We're seeing stuff happen. A lot of people don't even understand what's going on, and it's happening faster and faster. We're seeing people's dollars get eroded away. We're seeing the banks in trouble. We're seeing prices go up. We're seeing tensions escalate. It's going to be a matter of time before either a deal is struck with Russia and Ukraine, or Russia is going to steamroll Ukraine. Once the U.S. stops spending money on that, that's it. All we're doing is propping up Ukraine right now. And like it or not, it's happening. Same with Taiwan. Taiwan, we're sending all this money to Taiwan. And yeah, Taiwan buys weapons from us. And we get stuff from them. And I can understand why they do it. But on the flip side, it's not something we can afford to keep doing. Even Putin put out a speech one day and said, as soon as the U.S. dollars stop coming into Ukraine, we will steamroll it. It will be over instantly the next day. And I think people know this. People understand this. Even high up politicians. Denial is not where you want to be. You know, I've mentioned this in other videos before, but, you know, when someone closes their eyes because they don't want to see the monster standing there, the monster's still going to get them. A big dog, whatever the case may be. It's still going to get you. Closing your eyes does not change the fact of things. You need to think about this stuff and deal with it head on. And I'm a little frustrated that we're getting to this point, because it didn't have to get to this point, but I really think that might be the way it's going. And it's hard to talk with people because, you know, you look at some of these countries like Greenland and Canada. Overall, I would say they're pretty peaceful countries. They're not the type of countries that's going to start something. So I have to wonder, does that mean we're going to be the bad guys in the future? But what is our alternative? Our alternative is either don't do it and we lose the dollar goes under, and Americans are going to be hurting. Our allies will instantly be hurting, and that's it. And then all of a sudden, other countries will take control of everything, such as Russia and China. Now, am I pro-war? Absolutely not. I do not want to see any kind of war break out. I don't want to see someone lose their lives. However, I will say it will definitely have a big impact on gold and silver, I believe. Now, obviously, no one knows exactly how things will play out, but if the dollar goes under, gold and silver is going through the roof. If the U.S. goes to a war, the dollar will go down, and silver and gold will definitely go through the roof. Had someone comment the other day that just because we go to war does not mean gold and silver will go up. Generally, when a currency starts collapsing, people want safety. Gold and silver is safety. Some people might try to say cryptocurrency and Bitcoin is safety. It may be for a little while until data lines from Europe to the United States get cut, damaged, taken out, whatever the case may be. There's a lot of things that can jeopardize cryptocurrencies. And will you lose them forever? Maybe not. Maybe, when the grid goes down, if the grid comes back up, yours will still be there. You just won't be able to use it for anything. I mean, can you imagine not being able to use your crypto for the next 10, 12 years because of a drawn-out escalations? That's why a lot of us stack precious metals. And I think that I think this administration knows the direction that we're going, and it's scary. It definitely is scary. But at the end of the day, we can't really do anything about it. All we can do is look out for ourselves and our family. And that's why I like stacking precious metals. We've seen precious metals, despite what some people will tell you, we have been gradually seeing precious metals ramping up. I mean, you look right here at this big jump, and then all of a sudden it came right back down. Why did it come back down, though? Because we did a bank bailout. We gave billions of dollars, put it into the system to kind of try to ice things over a little bit. And now it's not enough. We put more money in to ice it over a little bit, and it's taking more and more money to ice over the direction that precious metals are going in. And as you look at it, it will continue to climb higher and higher, even if you just look at the last year. So when people tell you, oh, gold and silver ain't going to save you, don't waste your money, it ain't going to do nothing, they're going to outlaw it, there's always going to be some kind of market out there that will take gold and silver, because there's always going to be someone out there. I could be almost broke, and if I've got a garden in my backyard and someone offers to trade me some silver dollars for some zucchini, some squash, some eggplants, some eggs from my chickens, maybe even a chicken or two, I'm a little more hesitant that I would give away a chicken versus eggs, only because just like I wouldn't give away a cow, whereas I might give away some milk. However, you have to understand the direction that we're going. And I want people to really think about this, because they're already making comments. Now, how much of this will take place instantly? Who knows? But we are going to a world that's going to have less countries, and it's going to basically be more powerful, I'll say, groups, countries, but with less of them. I would not even be surprised if the U.S. has to go military force, that we make some kind of a deal and we pull out of Taiwan, we pull out of Ukraine, and we take Greenland or Canada. And nobody bothers us, no one helps them, that's the end of it, and everybody gets a country. At least everybody that's kind of in charge. I hate to say that. Now, I know this is controversial for some people. Some people don't like to hear this stuff. But you know what? Just because someone doesn't like to hear it doesn't mean it ain't happening. No one wants to know there's a monster in the room, but essentially not looking at it is not going to make it go away necessarily. So I want people to be mindful of what's going on. I want people to pay attention to what's going on, and we'll see how this plays out. But I think it's definitely going to have a big impact on the dollar, whether it's for the positive or for the negative. I mean, obviously, if we gain access to 50 billion barrels of oil, that's going to have a big impact on the United States dollar. And it's only going to kick the can down the road a little bit, but we'll see what happens. So with that being said, thank you all for watching. I didn't quite get it down to under 20, but 24 minutes is pretty good. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys again on T-Square Talk. I hope you all hit that thumbs up button. Hope you all left me a short comment. It doesn't have to even be a long comment. Just a good morning will get you the credit for the comment, and it could be beneficial down the road. So thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys again on T-Square Talk. Take care, everybody. Have a great day. Bye-bye.